Okay, today I'm going to demonstrate how to draw some facial features from a worm's eye view looking up at the face, so that it's kind of in foreshortened viewpoint. And I'll start with this eye here, and whenever you're drawing an eye, no matter the angle, you usually want to start with the iris shape. In this case, it's still pretty much a circle. It might be flattened out a little since we're looking up at it. But I want to go around and around, lightly sketch it until I feel like I got a decent circle here. You don't want to just try to do it in one shot like that. Alright, I feel like that's pretty good. Now I'm looking carefully at the eye I'm trying to draw, whether it's from life, from a mirror, or from a photograph. And I'm noticing that I'm seeing the majority of the iris right here, the bottom of it anyway, but the top part does get cut off. So I'm going to figure out how much of that top is getting cut off here. Kind of draw that line in first. And then there's a little sliver, the bottom's getting cut off. I'm going to put that in as well. Now from this angle, the top eyelid pretty much looks the same as it when you're looking at it straight on. It still kind of arches downwards. But now the bottom eyelid kind of does the same thing as well because of the angle we're looking at. So I want to be mindful of that. So I'm kind of sketching in both at the same time, and then I'm going back and I'm sort of looking at the white space that is available. The sclera that's showing, these little shark fin shapes right here. And it looks like, to me, the right side is a little bit bigger. Comes to a point about there. And then over here, I want to close that up because this side's got to be a lot smaller, and then we got room for the pink area here, the tear ducts. So I'm starting off my sketching with a mechanical pencil, but when it's time to shade, I'm going to switch up to a regular wooden pencil. I feel like that's pretty decent there. We can erase the top part of the iris since it's not showing. Let's put in that crease, and kind of the thickness of the eyelid that we can see by looking up at the eyelid. So crease there, and it's got some eyelashes in there, but I'm going to wait till the end to put those details in after I've done my shading. Okay, looks like we've got a reflection in here. This is taken indoors, so I'm imagining this is probably just the light from overhead. And it kind of rounds around his eye, so I want to outline that so I don't accidentally go over it. Alright, and then we've got the pupil inside of the iris. And then I'll solidify that iris a little bit more. Alright, so the rest is all shading. So I'm going to switch it up to the wooden pencil. And we of course know that the pupil is always black, so I'm going to fill that in. And you can use a darker pencil like an ebony or even like a 4B, but you can also just use a plain old number 2 pencil too. Alright, now inside the iris, the top part of it is always going to be a little bit darker. Even if the person has like blue or green eyes, top part's going to look dark because that eyelid is creating a little bit of a shadow. And notice I'm using the side of the pencil now to try to get more of an even blend, kind of smooth it out a little bit already. I'm going to blend with my finger or even a blender a little bit later on, but it's going to make my job a lot easier if I try to smooth it out now rather than making like real scratchy motions on here. Alright, so it blends into the rest of the iris. Looks like the outside of the iris, this is usually the case, is a little bit darker as well, so I'm going to kind of make it a little darker on the perimeter here. Okay. Alright, now even the white part of the eye does have a little bit of shading in it. It's never completely white, except for maybe where you have reflections. So very lightly put some shading in there. The pink of the eye is going to look even a little darker than that. And at this point I can get in there and blend a little with my finger, or if you got a blender, you can do that too. Even tissue or notebook paper could work as well. Alright, looks like I got a little too dark in there, so I'm going to go back in and kind of erase a little bit. Get that reflection. maybe lighten up some of that shading a little bit. And then smooth it out. Alright, I think that's alright. Okay, now the eyelid up here. Do see some shading there. It's a little bit darker than the inside of the eye. Not quite pitch black, but it's a little bit darker. On the crease it gets black though. Throw a little more shading around that. And then all in here, even above here, it's going to be a little bit shaded just because of the eyebrow kind of jets out and causes some shadow. I don't need to go all the way up there, but I'll throw a little bit of darkness in there. Alright, and then from this angle, it looks like we've got a little bit of shadow on the bottom eyelid here. And then it kind of blends in and lightens up as you go up from here. So I'm just going to let up in my pressure and try to blend it in. Alright, blend it in. A little bit darker in here maybe, so it doesn't look so outlined. Alright, now let's throw in those eyelashes. So they kind of come straight out at us. They don't really flare up or anything for this one. But I'll darken up this line here first. And then we do see just a few of those eyelashes sort of pointed down almost, it looks like in the photo. So in this one we're lucky we do have a good reflection going across here, but even if you don't see a reflection in your eye or your subject's eye, include one anyway. It always ends up giving it a little bit more life. Makes it kind of pop a little more. Alright, I can erase for a little highlight here maybe. Up here. And yeah, that's about it. That's pretty decent right there, I guess. A little darker right there. Yeah, and that's an eye from a lower angle, from like a bird's eye view.